years, we're going to go from talking about real estate to talking about casinos. Tim, you want to introduce our first guest here?
Yeah, absolutely. We have in our studio here today with us a very special guest. We have Joe Hasson, and Joe is the Vice President and General Manager of the Graton Resort and Casino, the big casino right off of 101 that we've all seen. Joe, thanks for joining us today.
Certainly my pleasure to be here, guys. Thanks for inviting me.
You betcha. Now, Joe and I had an opportunity to meet yesterday to talk about a couple things about the casino. And, Joe, you have a pretty extensive background. Can you tell me about it?
Well, I've had the good fortune, Tim, of spending a little bit more than 30 years in the casino business. And most recently, I've been with Station Casinos. That's the management company that manages Graton Resort and Casino on behalf of the Federated Indians of Graton Rancheria. Been with them for about 10 years. Used to work in Lake Tahoe, so I feel at home in Northern California. Certainly in the North Bay area, it's great to know guests that I used to know at the lake. It's great to know team members that I used to work with at the lake and in Northern Nevada.
Yeah.
That's great. And on a personal level, I understand that you have your children in California as well, correct?
That's right. My kids, my grown kids, were Californians long before I became a Californian. I've been here for about 18 months now. But my oldest, he's a CPA working out of San Jose. He was a graduate of the University of California, Berkeley. My middle child, as I like to refer to her, she's an aspiring CPA. She works out of San Diego, California. She went to the University of San Diego.
Oh, so did I. What year did she graduate there?
She's a couple years behind, so you've probably got her. You've got her by a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah. Well, that's great. It's a great school. I love San Diego. I was there for 7 years. So you've been with Stations. It's called. The management company is
Station Casinos.
Station Casino, and that's an important distinction, right?
We're located headquarters-wise in Las Vegas. What that really means here is that there's just a small handful of people, about 20 of us, that came from Las Vegas. We have a workforce of 2,000 people, and 20 of us came from Las Vegas to kind of just get the culture set, to get the rules of the game set, to get the house ways set, and to just provide some guidance. And we've been pretty fortunate with a pretty terrific workforce that is just geared to service. The people that live and work in Sonoma County are all about hospitality. If you think about the wine industry, the hotel businesses, the wedding industry, the beautiful scenic beauty of the coastline, people understand hospitality and service in this part of the country, particularly in Sonoma County. I've been very fortunate to find those people as my colleagues and coworkers at Graton Resort and Casino.
That's great. Now, this didn't happen overnight. I was surprised when you were talking with me yesterday that this was really 10 years in the planning. Give me a little bit of the backstory.
Well, it's important to note that the Federated Indians of Graton Rancheria are the owners of the business. Their tribe was recognized by Congress a little bit more than 10 years ago, and it's been a 10-year mission for the tribe to ultimately bring this project to fruition. Station Casinos has worked with the tribe over that period of time, and through the tribe's hard work and perseverance, today what you see, or at least beginning November of 2013, is a beautiful facility with all the slot machines, the table games, the beautiful array of restaurants, all the nice amenities that come with a Las Vegas-style casino, but the friendliness as well that comes with Sonoma County, California.
Sure, absolutely. Now, one of the things is that when we were talking yesterday, I asked a pretty straightforward question. When you opened, a lot of things went extremely well, but you said there were some things that went bump in the night. So tell me, what went well, or what were the difficulties that you experienced in opening?
Well, it's always fun to talk about what went exactly as planned, and I'm going to go above and beyond what went exactly as planned. So far, we've been newly introduced to more than 500,000 guests that now hold a Graton Rewards loyalty card.
I have one of those.
There we go. I appreciate that. Our player's card is really the gateway to what I would call the niceties that we provide, whether it be a complimentary meal, whether it be some free slot play, whether it be a bet on the house on a table game. Knowing now 500,000 guests that hold the Graton Rewards card is pretty encouraging, and frankly, it surpassed my expectations in the short period of time that we were open. The only thing that caught me off guard was in the first couple of days, the traffic was, I think it's fair to say pretty fabulous. Now, of course, the thing to remember...
It made the news, Joe.
That's for sure. The thing to remember is that Californians know how to drive. There's plenty of traffic in Northern California. When I drive to work in the morning, I see inbound traffic to Santa Rosa that I sometimes confuse with New York City. Yeah. So I'm pretty convinced that Californians know how to drive, and they'll find their way. They'll find any route, including the side streets, the back routes, the main routes. That's all sorted itself out. So what caught us off guard for a day or two is now in good standing.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Before we go to break here, I would like to sort of touch on infrastructure and, what kind of infrastructure you brought into Rohnert Park. I think is important to talk about.
Well, we mentioned when we were talking yesterday that we are a terrific partner when it comes to sewer connections at Rohnert Park. We're a big ratepayer to be a participant in the sewer connection. And I know that ultimately that's important to your business and your industry,
right? Because
with services like that and with infrastructure like that, you find that the community can thrive and grow. We're happy to pay as a good public citizen and a good business citizen the rates that are appropriate with connecting up to the infrastructure in the community. We improved a street and some all the access streets that are near to the facility in conjunction with the city of Rohnert Park and the county of Sonoma. So there's some improvements that benefit all in that regard.
Well, yeah, for you listeners out there, Wilfred Drive no longer is Wilfred Drive. It is now Golf Course West. Is that correct?
Golf Course Drive West, that is correct.
Golf Course Drive West,
yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think, it doesn't take very long to see what impact the casino has had positively on the infrastructure. We're going to talk more about how it's impacting building when we come out of the break. So stick around. I'm here with Joe Hasson and Tim Carroll. I almost called you Tim something
Come on
else.
now, Tim Carroll.
Tim Carroll. And we're talking about the great casino and its impact on the local market here. I'm George Adair. This is The Lone Show. Stick around. I'll be right back.
KSRO, the news and talk of Sonoma County.
It's The Lone Show on KSRO with George Adair. Call in with your questions now at 636-1350.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to The Lone Show. I'm George Adair, joined by Tim Carroll. We've got a special guest, Joe Hasson. He's the Vice President and General Manager of Graton Resort Casino. And you might wonder, why are we talking about a casino on a Lone Show? Well, we're going to get into that in just a little bit.
Yeah, in fact, guys, I invited Joe here because we opened a Bay Equity Home Loans office in Rohnert Park exactly the same time that Joe opened the casino. Of course, we didn't get quite as much press, but Joe, I'm not going to hold that against you. So, it's had a huge impact on my branch, and it's had a huge impact on the town that we're in, and that's very, very exciting looking forward. So we're going to come back to that in a minute, but during the commercial break, we were talking to Joe about there's always something going on at the casino. In fact, you guys, I think, just wrapped up a big car promotion. What's going on now? What's the latest?
Yeah, cars were part of what we did in both February and March. We were giving away, during the month of February, a car every day awarded to a winner.
Amazing.
And we followed up in March with that. Now in April, we said, let's change it up a little bit. We're going for cash. Cash is king.
Cash is king.
We have a promotion that we call the $420,000 hot cash promotion.
Wow.
Every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday night, we award 10 lucky winners $500 at straight up 7 p.m.
Wow.
Just need a Graton Rewards card to participate. There's no cost. Just come on in and get a card.
Wow.
Be part of our loyalty club.
Yeah.
9 o'clock, we play a quick game of Texas Hold'em poker with 5 more guests. They don't need to know the game. I deal a pretty square game, and I often announce the promotion. The top winner in that 9 o'clock event, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings, they can win up to $20,000 in cash on each of those 3
George,
nights.
we got to be there. What night was that?
That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights, 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. all throughout the month of April.
I don't think my wife will let me go.
All right, that sounds good. Now, listen, we talked before the break. You had mentioned there were 2,000 employees at the
That's
resort.
correct. And I know the question is always, well, what do 2,000 people do in a casino?
Exactly.
Now, there's 2 parts to our business. There's the part that is just like every other industry. We have marketing people, we have accountants, we have information technology professionals, we have people behind the scenes, administrative and clerical. But the part of our business that's a little bit different, we have dealers. We deal blackjack and baccarat and many other card games. And we have people that take care of slot machines. And those people, those members of our team, we refer to them as GSAs, Guest Service Ambassadors. They take care of the slots, and we have technicians that fix the slot machines as well. So the one part of our business that is not often seen from the outside, we have a vast network of surveillance capabilities. Everything you've ever seen on television or in the movies, we can do it, only better than what you see on television and in the movies.
Well, that's a little scary now.
Yeah, I know.
Do I need to wear my sunglasses when I walk in next time?
We will allow you to wear sunglasses. We would still be able to identify you even with sunglasses on, nonetheless.
So do you guys have a black book, so to speak?
There are some people that are no longer welcome at Graton Resort and Casino. They are welcome to call me if we've asked them to take a vacation from us, so to speak. Sometimes we consider re-allowing someone to enter, but I like to remind people we don't run a church, we run a casino, but we do insist on some civil behavior inside the facility.
Besides the obvious, drunk and disorderly or anything like that, I mean, are there certain gambling no-nos that put somebody on that list?
Well, cheating is top of that list. If you do something on a blackjack game, you do something
I'm not smart enough.
illegal on a blackjack game, we're going to stop that and we're going to ask you to leave.
And they'll get caught.
Well, they'll get caught because of the extensive both people watching people. There's a dealer, there's a supervisor behind them, there's a pit boss. There's also that extensive surveillance and security network up above.
Just a quick thought. How do you tell if somebody's counting cards?
Counting cards is easy enough for us to detect.
Really?
We watch in real time, and then we look backwards to understand. While we're counting along with the player, we can determine that the player is counting cards.
That's pretty interesting. Well, let's talk real quick, because we only have a couple of minutes left, about the housing that's coming as a result of the casino.
Right. One of the reasons I asked Joe here is that Rohnert Park is poised to explode. There are 4,300 new homes that have been approved, residential homes that have been approved for building, and there's 1,700 more on the launch pad. And a large part of this was due to the fact that the casino came in, connected to city services, specifically the sewer services, and the city was able to take the funds from the casino and expand their sewer service. And there are many developments now launching as a direct result of that. And the impressive part is that Rohnert Park had not seen a new home built since 1997. I mean, that's almost inconceivable to me.
Yeah.
And the fact that we have 6,000 homes now on the launch pad over the next, 3 to 5 years, you're going to see a renaissance in Rohnert Park. And, I think it was the city manager, Darren Jenkins, who said, before Rohnert Park, you might say it was a great place to live, but you wouldn't want to visit there. We're trying to change that. We see Rohnert Park as being destination Rohnert Park. So, Joe, we in Rohnert Park appreciate the casino's help.
Impact.
Thank you.
Yeah, so infrastructure, was a key part of the city's ability to grow the permits, or allow for the permits to grow the housing market. And needless to say, the county and city needs all that. So we're going to go into another commercial break. I want to thank Joe Hasson for joining us. Great conversation. And, hey, go check out the casino. It sounds like they're doing some fun things.
It's a great place. If you haven't been there the first time I walked in, fantastic.
All right. Well, this is the Lone Show. I'm George Adair with Tim Carroll. Stick around. We have one more conversation out of the break.
It's The Lone Show on KSRO with George Adair. Call in with your questions now at 636-1350.
Hey, everybody, this is Tim Carroll with Bay Equity Home Loans, and thank you for coming back to the show. We have our special guest, Joe Hasson from the Graton Resort and Casino with us today, and we're about to wrap up, but we were talking on the break, and Joe, one of the things, I had a nice conversation with Brian Masterson, who's both the police and fire chief in Rohnert Park, and he had some real positive things to say, and the takeaway for me in that conversation was that the casino has, in fact, been a good neighbor, and there's been a direct financial correlation between the casino and some of the city services. Can you elaborate a little bit?
Sure thing, Tim. The tribe, the Federated Indians of Graton Rancheria, provide fabulous sums of money as part of intergovernmental agreements to both the city of Rohnert Park, the county of Sonoma, and ultimately as well the state of California. We have a great working relationship with law enforcement agencies, including the Sheriff's Department in Sonoma, as well as the city of Rohnert Park, and frankly with California Highway Patrol as well.
Yeah.
So we like to be a good business citizen, and I think we're doing a pretty fabulous job of that.
Well, I think you are too, and he said great things about you guys. So, Joe, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, Joe, thanks. Hey, folks, we're going to wrap with one last conversation with one of the better realtors out there, Jim Weiss. He's with Century 21 Real Estate Bundesen in Petaluma. Hey, Jim, thanks for calling into the Loan Show.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, Jim's a friend of the show, and we like to bring good realtors on the show because they talk about interesting factoids, and they've got good listings. Jim, you've got a listing actually in West Petaluma you want to tell people about, right?
I do, and I really appreciate the opportunity because it's kind of a unique listing in that it's in West Petaluma and it's under $400,000, and it's actually in good shape. It's not a fixer. It's the quintessential little bungalow that's been actually undergone a major remodel, and he's just done such a great job of making it feel fresh and clean and retaining all the old charm. And I'm pretty excited about this place.
That's good. So, can you give the address out over the air?
I can. It's 703 East D Street.
East,
and it's
703 East D Street. Okay, and I've got Tim Carroll. Tim wanted to ask you a question.
Hey, Jim, we spoke yesterday.
Yeah, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing today?
Good.
Hey, you have a little history with this house, as I recall. Is that correct?
I do. I actually was a listing agent when this gentleman bought it back in 2000.
Oh, wow. Well, there's something for you folks. You don't see that every day.
It was a one-bedroom, 500 square foot. He's actually added to it, and now it's a two-bedroom, one-bath, 925 square feet.
Well, that's good. You know, it's actually tough to finance houses when they have less than 600 square feet, so that's probably a pretty good move there.
Yeah, it was an excellent move. I think it's going to make it a lot easier.
Yeah. Now, if people want to set up a showing to see the property, how do they reach you?
Just my direct line, 707-769-7181.
So again, that's 769-7181. We'll put up Jim's information up on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Bay Equity Loans.
And then, Jim, is there a website for the property or for you?
There's a website for myself. It's jimweiss.com.
Okay, that's
and
pretty
find
easy.
a little bit more about me, and my contact information's on there as well. I will be holding it open Sunday from 1 to 4 also. So.
That's good.
And
chance
Weiss,
for everyone to get in.
And Jim, when you say jimweiss.com, that's WEIS?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Now, just real quick, I think it's important to point out that the house price is going to be is listed at under $400,000.
Yeah.
You can't probably rent a house in Petaluma for what that mortgage payment would be. I mean, it's you do the math on it, you should be able to get away with